Okay, welcome back, folks, to a discussion that we want to undertake. Here we are looking at 10 problems um, that are centered around pseudocode, flowcharts, algorithms. So there is the first problem that we're interested in. We're interested in writing a pseudocode to input two numbers and output their sum. So now when we are inputting two numbers, first thing first, we want to receive input from the user. So we will use a keyword in capital form to say input. Let's call a variable num1 to receive the first number from the user. In the same instance, because we want to sum two numbers, we are going to input the second number, num2. Then we've got two numbers, but we want to output their sum. In other words, this time around is the processing part, so we need to declare another variable. And for variables, we use small letters. So here we are summing whatever we received as num1 and num2. So num1 plus num2, that is our sum. But are we interested in displaying? We want to output. So because we input the values, so we also need capital letter for output. And this time around, we want to output the sum, which is the result of the addition that we have performed. Then the next problem, we are interested in writing a pseudocode to check if a number is odd or even. Now, one thing we know is if a number is even, when it's divided by 2, the remainder is 0. So we'll use a function mod to test if our remainder is odd or even. So the first thing first, we want to receive input from the user. So we are going to say input num. And this time around, it's only one number that we want to receive from the user. So we'll test for the condition to say, but if our num mod 2, it gives us a 0. In other words, if num mod 2 is 0, it means this number is even. Then what should we do when this happens? In capital form, we will then display output. Can surround it with even, because to say this will be textual data. Output is even. Otherwise, if it fails to give us an equality of 0 there, we'll go to the else part to say it has failed to be even. Then we display output odd. And from there, we end our if statement. I think that's it for that particular problem. Then next, we want to draw a flowchart that inputs a mark. So we want to input a mark or receive a mark. Then we try and make a decision to say, but is this mark greater than or equal to 50? If it is, then it means that is a pass. So as usual, a flow chart will start with the oval shape to denote the starting of the process. So here we can just say start. Then what are we interested in? We want a user to give us a number. So as we go down, we need a parallelogram, which is an input. Then we can say mark, for this case, mark. Then we will make a decision to say, but the mark that we received, is it greater than or less than 50? So we can say mark greater than or equal to 50. We are trying to make a decision here. If it passes to be true, so let's say this line is for true. If it's true, then what do we want to do? We want to display that this is pass. And then we stop the process. Else, which is going to be false. What do? We display fail. Surrounded by pause to say it's text. Then we also stop the process. I think that's our basic flowchart. Then here we are interested in an open question. We want to know the difference between those two to say if we have got a pseudocode and a flowchart. what are the major differences. But as usual, we know a flowchart, it involves diagrams. So we can say pseudocode uses English-like statements, and flowchart uses symbols. And that's the major difference that we have between flowchart and pseudocode. But with pseudocode, it's easier and quicker to write. So we can come to say pseudocode is quicker and easier to write. But what about a flowchart? A flowchart is important when we want to visualize the logic. So with flowchart, let me go there, say flowchart visualizes the logic. I think those are two main differences between the two. Explain what iteration means in programming. So when we are iterating, it means we are repeating a task as long as a certain condition is met. So with iteration, this is a repetition. So it's a repetition of program execution as long as a certain condition is still met. So as long as a condition is met, e.g., when we talk of iteration, we have got for loops, while loops. And sometimes we can talk of loops such as do while or while do loops. Write a for loop that outputs numbers from 10 going downwards. So here, because we know the upper bound is 1, the lower bound is 10. So in other words, we are going in a reverse fashion. Instead of increasing from 1 to 2, we are going from 10 to 9. So here we are going to be going in reverse. So we need a for loop. So here we will say for there is I. Our I is a variable. So this variable I, it starts from 10 to 1. But what do we want to do? We want to step with a negative 1 to say as long as we finish our iteration, we reduce the I value by 1. So what do we want to do here? We want to output I itself. Then when we have displayed the I value, we go to the next I. So let's execute next I. It continues like that until we reach 0, and the 0 is not within our interval or range. So next we want to declare an array of edges. So declaration of an array is pretty much easy. We are just saying here in capital letter form we declare, but array has got a name, so it's edges, and we need square brackets, and we put the smaller value, which is 1, up to the last or biggest value, which is 5. And we use square brackets to say here we have defined an array. Next, we want to write a pseudocode to input 5 values into an array. So because we know the lower bound and upper bound, it's wise to use the for loop for I, which we know is going to be storing values from 1 up to 5. So we put an arrow 1 to 5. This is centered around an array, but do we have a name for an array? We don't. We need to give it a name. So we input, let's call these numbers. That will be the name of array, numbers. But we need a square bracket to say number I. This is what we are inputting into our system of arrays. Then, because again it's an iteration, we need to move to the next I value. On question 9, there is an pseudocode that has been done for us. Identify the error in the following. For I running from 1 to 10, output I. Well, this one is going to display I, but there's an error there. It looks like when we compare with the previous one, what's missing is the continuation of iteration. In other words, we don't have next I. Then the last question we have here is the importance of arrays. Arrays are important because they help us manage data which is related. So here it helps us. Normally we'll be iterating, we can move through an array. So it helps manage large lists of related data values. So one key importance of an array, so if values are related, can we navigate or, we move through the values, we want to identify the highest, the lowest, we want to find the average. An array will be useful because we have stored the values there in memory, so we can easily access them. So with that in mind, it becomes short and efficient. So we don't have many steps to perform this type of execution. I think basically that's it on the first part of programming, which involves algorithms, pseudocode, flowcharts, and arrays there. Thank you.